Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by EBU middleweight champion Tyler Denny. How are you doing, mate?
Oh, good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. I mean, last time we spoke to you, just come off the win of your life, collecting that trophy against Matteo Sinani. Has it all sort of settled in and settled down since then?
Yeah, I'm bored of it now. I just want to get another fight date and get back in the ring. It seems like ages ago now. I've been training probably since December really, and that was November. I had a couple of weeks off and back in the gym, so I'm just waiting on a date.
You've been pretty active in your career, throughout your career, and as you say, it's been a little bit of a lull since you won that belt. We sort of know what's next against Felix Cash with the purse bids going through, but does it feel like everything's stalled a little bit and just ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's not so much the Felix Cash situation, but I was meant to have a voluntary end of February or beginning of March, and for one reason or another, that just never materialised. So EBU have put cash as a mandatory. So it is what it is. But I was hoping I could fight early at the beginning of the year and then fight in the summer. But it looks like just gonna have to wait and for this date now.
Was there any surprise from your point of view that it was Felix Cash that was put forward? We've obviously not seen him in the ring for quite a while.
Um, I get that point of view, but I think it's because he was meant to fight Signani before, wasn't he? And then he pulled out on the week of the fight. He was going to be on the AJ undercard, and then Signani's never fought since. So I'm guessing the EBU just reinstalled him as mandatory. But I'd I'd fight King Kong at the minute. I'm just eager for a fight. Do you know what I mean? I just need to get back in the ring.
Yourself and Felix have come from sort of you had very different careers. He's obviously fought on the undercards of Dillian White's and Anthony Joshua's down the line, whereas you've had to do it a very different way to him, and you had your big homecoming not so long ago. Um, where do you see him in his career compared to where you are?
Um, to be honest, we're both fighting for the European title, so we're at a similar stage, I think. Whereas people might have say from when we started our careers, I've probably overachieved. Maybe he's underachieved. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, isn't it? We've got to have to fight each other, and I'm confident I'll get the win. Um, Obviously, he's not been active. I'm sure he's got his reasons on that, but it's none of my business. I just need to get in there and fight whoever they tell me to fight, and it's Felix Cash. So I just want to hurry up and get it on. It's long, it's boring, just doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? I want to fight. That's what I do. It's my job. I just want to get to work.
Do you think that inactivity could play a factor for Felix in that fight?
Maybe I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not relying on them that sort of thing. For all I know, could have been in the gym every day for. I don't know the guy. I don't know people who know him either. So I just have to respect the Felix Cash that took Bentley out in 2-3 rounds. So that's the fight I'm preparing for. That fighter.
And Felix Cash, we mentioned he's got a name value about him. He's maybe underachieved slightly in his career to date. For you to get a victory over someone of his sort of name value would really propel you back in to that sort of world title picture. You wouldn't be a million miles away if you were to get a victory over Felix Cash.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I think I'm ranked 12 in the IBF as well as it is now. So, and people when he was, I don't know, a couple of years back, they were talking about Amo Williams for him and then a world title. So, been beating these sort of guys, your name's got to be in the mix, isn't it? So, but I believe I'm, I've not got here through luck. I've earned the right to be here, so I believe in myself as well. So, it's just another fight for me, and another fight I think I'll come out on top as well.
How much of a difference is there with the purse bids obviously going to the matchroom side, but where the over boxer where you're obviously with at the moment? Has it made a big difference for you? Has it been frustrating at all?
I mean, to be fair, I would have liked to be in a boxer because they've been good to me. You know what I mean? And stuff, and it's nice boxing on Sky, but it's not really. I'm not really that arsed, to be honest. I think that's more of like maybe the promoters might be bothered, but I think most boxers, as long as they get to fight, I'm not even bothered if it was just, I don't know, in a hallway locked away in just the ring and me, Felix Cash, the ref and the judges. Like, I just want to fight as long as I get paid. I couldn't care if it's on Sky, does BT, Channel 5, it could be on CBeebies for all I know. Do you know what I mean? I just want to fight.
I'd like to get your thoughts on some other middleweight and super middleweight happenings at the moment. We see at the weekend, Nathan Heaney makes his return against Brad Pauls. Nathan was obviously someone you were linked with off your victory and off his victory over Denzel Bentley. What do you make of that fight against Brad Pauls? Do you see it as a win for Heaney?
It's a good fight, and I think they're both going to be confident. I think I'll speak to Nathan as well at the awards because we've got the same management, so I think it's probably unlikely that we're going to fight. I don't know, but I think Brad Pauls. I think he's going to have to expect a better Brad Pauls than when I fought him, simply because he might be thinking this is my last chance now, because he had the opportunity against me, and I wouldn't say I won easy, because it's still competitive rounds and that, but I think I won very clearly. Do you know what I mean? So, and Heaney just coming off the best win of his career by a country mile. Nobody's seen that coming. Do you know what I mean? I think if you tell me you've seen that coming, I'd probably call you a liar. So, I think it shocked everyone, but fair play to him, man. But I think with momentum and that, I think you make Heaney the favourite, but I wouldn't write Brad Pauls off either.
When you were watching Nathan's victory over Denzel Bentley, as it was going round by round, what was your sort of reaction to that? Because I think everybody was a little bit shocked.
Well, I never had the shock because we fought on the same day. He was in Manchester and then I was in Wolverhampton, so because we had Liam as well, Davis, so we had to split up. But I was in a bar afterwards at the end, and I said, like, in his world, I was like, what? I can't even forgot it was even going on. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I've watched it back now, and it's great. It's great win. It's not like he just snuck a one. I thought he won quite clear. I think one of the judges give it a draw, but I don't know what that judge was looking at, to be fair. I'm sure Denzel's kicking himself and whatever, but I think instead of like saying Denzel never done this, I'd rather just say well done to Heaney, and he boxed out his skin, didn't he? But the thing is, once you do it, you've got to do it again, ain't you? Because Brad Pauls is coming now. Brad Pauls is that guy that Heaney was his last fight, so everyone's hungry, ain't they? They want what you've got now, so it is what it is. But I was happy for Heaney, to be honest. I was happy for him. He's a good lad. I know him well. Plenty of sparring and stuff. So, and he's a Midlands boxer as well, so it's better for the Midlands also.
I know you say because you're in the same management stable that fight is unlikely to happen, but it would be some atmosphere, wouldn't it? Whether that's in Wolverhampton or whether that's in Stoke.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take the fight, and I'm sure he'd take the fight. It's just because we do get on and stuff, and we've got the same management. It's just unlikely, but who knows? Who knows? I like if he got offered towards me, if I could fight for, he's got a WBA in here as well, so the British WBA, and I could put my European on the line, then I'm sure if the figures stacked out, if you asked him as well, we'd take the fight, but it's not something I'd be calling out. I'd just leave him to go his path, I'll go my path. And if we end up fighting one day, so be it.
It's been a little while since Hamzah Sheeraz recorded the victory over Liam Williams. I mean, lots of people look at the condition, I guess, of Liam Williams and where he is in his career, but for Hamzah Sheeraz, a real statement victory that puts him into that world scene. Were you impressed with what you saw?
Yeah, it's hard not to be impressed, isn't it? It was just from the get-go, he was on Liam Williams, and it was just straightforward, wasn't it, for him, one-way traffic. It's one of them. We caught him with a shot and he never recovered. I don't say Williams. Obviously, some people give him some stick and stuff. Say he's not been the same since Eubank and whatever. But I think, if anything, I mean, that's an opinion, but I think it was the Andrade fight who probably, if anything, took out of him. He took a lot of big shots in that Andrade fight, but I sparred him since that, to be honest, and I thought he looked good, like, so, you know, and you got to fancy Hamzah Sheeraz as the favourite going in, but I don't think anyone expected him to do that to him. So credit to Hamzah, man. He's looking the part, isn't he?
When is it you were sparring, Liam?
Last year, beginning of last year, I was sparring him just before I fought Brad Pauls.
Okay, and he at that point was looking sharp and ready and looking.
I thought I mean, I was about probably 2 weeks out from a fight, and he never had a date. But you know, it was still good sparring, So you know, I was expecting a good fight. But Hamzah Sheeraz had other plans, didn't he?
From that sort of reaction to looking forward to some things that we could see, Chris Eubank Jr. Some interesting matchups have been sort of called with Chris recently. First of all, it was Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford now sort of. Chris Eubank Jr., a man that's had a couple of interesting fights possibly lined up. First of all, it was Canelo Alvarez, and now seemingly Chris Eubank Jr. versus Terence Crawford could be a possibility. Your reaction to that one?
It's one I never saw coming, but whether it'll happen, I don't know. Maybe people just put stuff out to stay relevant or something. I'm not so sure. And as far as the last fight went, they've got the same trainers, isn't they? So it makes you think, doesn't it? If they just did it because they're both like Crawford's not fought for ages, Eubank's not fought for a while, and he's got people talking about him, isn't it? So it's a bizarre one, isn't it? It's a bizarre one. But from Eubank, I don't know. I don't know what the Conor Benn talks all the time. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon either. I'd fight Janibek, to be fair. I know he's probably not going to make the money that he needs to make. Probably if I was managing Eubank, you probably wouldn't take that fight either because it's an hard fight. And I think a lot of casuals don't know who Janibek is. But, you know, as a boxing fan, that's the fight I'd like to see.
For Chris Eubank Jr., it was seemingly the money that was the issue between himself and getting that Conor Benn fight. When you see him linked with the likes of Canelo and Crawford, do you think there's a few more steps in between before he gets to that top level?
I mean, you'd probably think so, wouldn't you? But what do you do if you can get them sort of fights? So I couldn't blame him. I think we'd all take these. If you could get some Canelo money, everyone would take it, wouldn't they? But Canelo's fighting Munguia as well now in May, so that one's not happening. I think Conor Benn would sell massively, wouldn't it? But obviously with license issues and stuff and all that palaver, I think he just wants the big fights out there, doesn't he? And then you kind of run out of names for big pay-per-views and stuff for him. So I don't know what I'd do, to be fair. If he wants to make the most money, then he's probably hanging on ready for one of them sort of fights. But if you want to win belts, I'm sure they could sort out one of the champions to fight him. But me personally as well, I'd probably rather have the money than the belts. Do you know what I mean? But that one's for him to answer, isn't it? That one's for him to answer.
The name you mentioned there in Conor Benn, we saw him over the weekend on the AJ Ngannou undercards, meeting, shaking hands with Manny Pacquiao, with a fight in the works seemingly for Conor Benn to take on the multiple weight world champion. Do you see that as one, a fair fight, and how do you see it going if it is to happen?
Nobody knows what Pacquiao's got left, do they? I mean, he's been retired how many years and stuff, and I just don't know why. You know, what I mean, just ruins it a bit, doesn't it? I know the big names and stuff, but fight like Boots Ennis or something like that. So fights I'd like to see. You know, there's plenty of top welterweights out there, active, young, hungry welterweights. Me personally have a lot more interest in that than seeing Conor Benn versus Pacquiao. To let him retire and I don't know, just some exhibition fights like Mayweather's or something like that. It's a bit frustrating, really. It's a bit of a circus when it comes to that sort of stuff. But again, if it makes silly money, then I'm not dissing him because if I was in the opportunity, I'd probably do the same. To be honest,
I think the argument with Conor is he hasn't had those area title fights, the British title fights, and the English title. He's not fought for those sort of belts, not taken on those sort of fighters. So when he's looking for somebody who's possibly just beyond their best. And in Pacquiao's case, in his mid-40s, he's just taking a chance on whether he's past it.
Well, that's what I mean. But you never know if he would have got to the stage he gets to when you take these fights. And obviously, he's got great promotion, so he's not to take the risk. But you look at like the champion out Harry Scarf, he's had to fight Echo Esserman to get that British title and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's a fight he could have easily lost. And I would have picked Esserman before the fight, to be honest. But he's won it, and you know, then for me, that's what boxing's about, really. You go into these sort of fights, real live opponents and stuff, hungry guys and stuff. Well, I don't know what Pacquiao's got left. Nobody does, and I think that even if you beat Pacquiao, you can't really win. You beat Pacquiao, you say, well, that guy's finished and he's retired, blah blah. You lose to Pacquiao, he's lost against this guy. He's finished years ago. So, but money talks, doesn't it? Money talks, man, and I think that's what it is. Pacquiao is still a massive, massive name. But last time I heard, he was doing some politics and stuff. So don't know whether they've dragged him back into the ring, but who knows?
Tyler, really appreciate your time and hope you have that fight date sorted out soon, mate.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on again.